We've just been camping out here at Alva Beach. As you can see, our rooftop tent held us well last night. And today we are going to dive the Yongala. Super excited, it's been on my bucket list forever. It's an amazing wreck that was sunk about 100 years ago in a cyclone. So really cool, really excited to see things. We've heard a lot of good things about it. But until we get there, we're gonna have a coffee and it's all good in the woods. So there'll be points on that dive site. It's a wreck dive, so it is a 110 meter vessel, but sometimes you can't tell there's a vessel there because there is just a wall of fish between you and like anything else. You're in a constant school of fish, and sometimes you break away from the main schools and you look up, and I saw some of the largest giant trevally I've ever seen in my life. Right? But never seen them so big. So in the footage, you'll see them chasing after an adult long-fin batfish. Now it's hard to tell with a GoPro and with footage, but essentially the fish they're chasing is the size of two hands like this. Okay? So that fish looks tiny compared to them. They were reaching almost 2 meters, I reckon. They were like bigger than me. And they were a very mean looking fish. But I'm very thankful they left me alone and they were busy harassing this long-finned backfish. And it was amazing to see how they hunted in the pack, almost like wolves. They just stuck together and they just follow this little fish around, not trying too hard, but almost exhausting the fish and not expending too much energy, but working together as a unit to exhaust this fish. Very, very clever animals. And aside from that, that wreck was just abundance of life. I've never seen such life ever. Not in the Coral Sea, not in the Great Barrier Reef, not in South Australia. I've never seen such an abundance of fish and life. My personal favorite were the olive sea snakes. So they were super cute and very inquisitive. So we are swimming along the wreck and you just have these little water noodle friends. And they come along and they swim up to you a little bit and then they swim around and they're busy looking for little fish, even though there are fish everywhere. And they're just doing their thing swimming along. Very inquisitive and not very aggressive at all. I don't think I've really heard of anybody being bitten by one of these guys. Apparently their mouths are too small to bite you unless they bite you here. So don't touch the animals, which should be a standard. Don't touch any animal unless it is a pet or you have a professional telling you can touch it. But generally, I like to leave marine life especially alone. If you go out and touch marine life, not only does it stress the animal, so think of it like this. You're walking down the street and then some person just grabs onto you and then starts touching you. You're not gonna like that. Neither is a turtle, neither is a shark, neither is a fish, neither is a sea snake. You'll be like, oh, don't touch me. That's weird. So, animals are pretty much the same. They don't want to be touched. They don't know who you are. Maybe if they know you, they want to be touched, but it takes a while for that one to form. It's better to get a cat than go touch a turtle. Also, don't touch turtles. So the Yongala sunk in 1911 And she was made by the same company who made Titanic, so they didn't have the best track record, I don't think, for boats that stayed afloat. She was caught out by a cyclone, and no one on board survived. Apparently there were 15-meter waves during that cyclone, so I don't think the boat really had much of a chance. So she sunk on her route from Rockhampton to Cairns, I think it is, or Townsville, one of the two. And she wasn't really found until quite a few years later. A lot of people looked for the Yongala, but never really found her until we had some surveyors going past it and just recognized it as a reef. And some switched on individual was like, wait a second, that's round about where the Yongala would have sunk. So they went back to that position, dived down, and found the ship, and immediately it was listed as a heritage site, which means you cannot go inside the wreck. That is very important, mostly because there are still human remains inside, and it also stops people from looting and pillaging the shipwreck. So it is essentially a refuge for wildlife because there's nothing really around it. The Great Barrier Reef is quite a bit away from it and is quite a distance from shore as well. So it's a refuge for a lot of fish life. So all the fish will come there, and you've got an entire ecosystem made from this old vessel. So you've got corals growing on the wreck itself, you've got lots and lots of little bait fish, you've got turtles, sea snakes, and then you've got the big trevally, and even a couple of Queensland gropers. It just shows that it hosts a whole ecosystem for every animal, from the smallest fish to the biggest fish and sharks. So awesome, awesome site. And it's an example of how animals can benefit from human construction. So the ship was unintentionally sunk, and nature reclaimed it and created its own reef system off of it. So nature finds a way. Nature finds a way. And I just want you guys to sit back and enjoy the footage, because this is some of the most incredible footage I think we've got so far, just with the amount of life, amount of fish, amount of diversity, just in a single 110 meter space. It's incredible, so watch and enjoy.
If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realign. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Can I